To create the vignette effect to our photograph, what we're going to start with is by grabbing the elliptical marquee tool. If we go over into the toolbar, we're going to see that we have our marquee tools second listed here. Right now, mine's set on the rectangle. I would like to change that. By holding down on this tool, I'm going to see that I'm given other options, and I do have the elliptical marquee tool here. Going to click on that. From here, I'm going to look at my options bar. I'm just going to make sure that my feather is set to 0, that I have normal for my style, that I have no constraints in here. What I'm going to do with this tool is I'm just going to come to my image. I'm going to click and hold down on my mouse, and I'm going to quickly drag and create that circle for my vignette. I'm not going to worry too much about how the selection looks right now because I still have the ability of going in and adjusting that. To do that, I'm going to go to my menu bar. I'm going to go up to the select option, and I'm going to choose the transform selection option. What that's going to do is that's going to give me a transform box around the actual marching ants or selection that I created that I'm then going to be able to modify. For today's sake, I'm just going to pull my edges all the way out just a little bit so that way it snaps to all of the edges of my image. So I'm going to be happy with that. This is working with like a normal transformation. So I need to make sure that I apply that transformation when I'm done. So I can either click the check mark in the options bar or hit return on my keyboard to apply it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a solid color layer adjustment. To do that, I need to go to the bottom of my layers panel, and I have that add adjustment layer button down here. By clicking that, I'm able to come in here, and at the very top, I have the option of solid color. When I select this, it's automatically going to fill the inside of my selection. That's okay. Even though that's the opposite of what we want, we can easily fix that. Right now, I'm just going to focus on the color because I'm going for a vignette and I want to create a darker edging. I'm going to shift my color picker from white to black. I'm going to click OK. The nice thing about using that solid color layer adjustment is we can always come back in and we can always change that. Now, once again, we accidentally fill the inside of our ellipse and we wanted to fill the outside of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually click on that layer mask. So remember, wherever my brackets are surrounding on that layers panel tells me what I'm selected on. So if I click on that, we're going to see that those brackets shift to the mask instead of the layer. I'm now going to open up my properties for my layer mask. The way that I can do that quickly is I can go to Window in my menu bar and choose the option of Properties. That's going to open up this panel that's going to give me some information here. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to choose this invert option towards the bottom here. And what that means is that's going to take my layer mask and it's going to now flip it. So it's going to show the edit in the opposite areas and hide the edit in the areas that it was previously showing the edit. So this is starting to create that vignette deal. We've created those darker edges. However, right now it's a very rough, defined edge circle, and we want a more transitioned vignette. The next thing that I'm able to do to fix that is once again in that properties panel, I have this feather option here. By clicking and dragging this to the right, we're going to see that my edging now is becoming more of a transition deal. It's kind of spreading when it's starting to show that outside and when it's starting to show like the inside. So we can go through, we can feather it as far as we would like. The more feather you have, the bigger the transition that you have. Now, sometimes once we've created that feather, we're going to discover that we've lost our vignette at the top of our image, and maybe we didn't want to lose it there or towards our sides. This is where we're able to actually still come in and modify this mask. The first thing that we want to do with modifying that mask is we're going to click that little chain in between our layer and our layer mask. What that's going to do is that's going to unlink them, meaning I'm going to be able to move or edit my layer mask without moving my layer. With it unlinked, I'm now going to come in and I'm going to do my edit and I'm going to do my free transform. So you can also do that Command T shortcut to get it there. And we're going to see it's going to pop up with a box. And then we're going to be able to kind of pull those edges in again. So depending on how you would like your image, you're able to adjust that. I always encourage with vignettes that you try and kind of keep it even on both sides, so that way it's not kind of like a weird circle all of a sudden in a specific area, but more so a uniform circle around our image. Once I'm happy with that, I'm in that transformation option, so I need to click that check mark to confirm or commit it, or hit enter on my keyboard. The last thing we might want to do with a vignette is these edges are really, really harsh. We have really, really dark black edging there, and we don't necessarily want it to fully scream vignette like it is now. That's where we're able to come in, and with our layer selected, in our layers panel, we have what is called our opacity. And this scale here basically says how opaque that layer is going to be, meaning how strongly are we going to see it. So 100% means that layer's on full blast, it's showing us exactly how it looks. I'm able to take that and I'm able to turn that opacity down, which will make our image or our layer more transparent. So if I drop it down to 51, you're going to see I've really lost those dark black edges. And you may also feel like, well, I don't see the vignette anymore. This is where that eyeball is really handy. So by clicking that eyeball on and off, you're actually going to see, oh wow, there really is quite a bit of difference still happening between that vignette and not having that vignette on. So that's the simple way to create a vignette, completely editable. We can change the mask size, we can change the opacity, we can still play with the feathering if we want. We have total flexibility with this file.